Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your direction video, this time for the materials found in the Day 2 folder for the Boston Tea Party project. So I've already gone over to you what these folders look like and how to find it, so we're going to go right into the folder for this video. And as we go in, you'll see that there are sources and an activity listed out just like there was for Day 1. You've got your source number 1 and source number 1 translated, and then source number 2 and source number 2 translated. So while you're working with your partner whose first name starts with the letter closest to the letter A, will do number 1 up here. If you are the other partner where the first letter of your first name starts closer to the letter Z, you are working on source number 2 down here. So ladies and gents, before I get into the sources, we do have a new question that we need to keep in mind as we're reading and analyzing these sources. That question is the following: what actually happened at the Tea Party on December 16th, 1773? So that's what needs to be going through your mind as you go through each one of these sources. Highlight words that you don't know, highlight correct information, and then use that information for the final project. So the process you're going to take for analyzing the sources is exactly the same that we did for Day 1. You will open up your source, and I will be looking at source number 1 for right now. And source number 1, like I said before, the first thing you're going to do is read through it, highlight in red any words that you may or may not know. So if you don't know the word opposition, you want to highlight that in red. Maybe if you scroll down a little bit farther and you don't know what Griffin's Wharf is, you want to highlight that. So any word you don't know, highlight in red so that you can either Google it and look it up or ask me in class and I'll be able to give you the definition of it. When you are done identifying those words, then we need to switch to yellow, which you see I've already highlighted some key information in yellow so that you can pick out what important information you will use to answer this question right here: what actually happened at the Tea Party on December 16th? All right, so that's source number 1. It's a little long, but it's not too bad. And if you need the translated version, it's there as well. Source number 2 is the source itself is just on the left side here of our column. The right side, if you see, matches up with the highlighting that you see on the left. So you got Mr. Roch here, you got Mr. Roch here. Collector here, governor here, and so on and so forth. So these, the right side gives you little explanations to people, terms, and other items that we may not have talked about yet and you may not be as familiar with. So again, same deal here. If you're working on this source, you read it and highlight words you don't know in red and highlight important information in yellow. When you have completed this and you have talked with your partner to figure out what types of information you thought were important, then, ladies and gents, you're going to come over here to our activity. This is a storyboard. So, ladies and gentlemen, a storyboard is like where an artist or a film crew will draw out what they plan to put in a movie or into a TV show before they actually film it. It helps them line up the shot the way that they would like. We're going to do the same type of deal, but instead of preparing ourselves to film, we're just going to use this storyboard to kind of give 8 to 10 images that represent, again, what actually happened at the Boston Tea Party on December 16th, 1773. So I've done a couple here that I will show you as an example. You can choose to either do this online using the template I have provided, or if you are somebody who has great artistic abilities and you prefer using pencil and paper, I'm totally fine with you either splitting a piece of paper up into 8 boxes or using 8 sheets of paper to do 1 scene per sheet, if that makes sense. If you have any questions about the options that you have for this project, please just ask me and I will be able to fill you in. As you scroll down, you will see each one is marked with a scene, and I have done a couple here and I'll explain to you my rationale. So what I've included, number 1 is a picture illustrating what the scene is, but also a little description that kind of describes what's going on here. So scene 1 says 3 ships arrive in Boston Harbor, also known as Griffin's Wharf, carrying tea that will be sold cheaper than American tea, so colonists would have to pay the tax. And I've given you, the water, the dock, and the 3 ships here. So as you can see, you don't have to be great artistically to finish this project. You just need to put in some good effort. Then if you go down to scene 2, and also I got my description here that you see from source number 1. From this first sentence here. So I've taken our first sentence that I said was good information and I have put it into my storyboard. If you scroll down, I've got the same deal: an illustration, a description that came right from this piece here, and then a little bit of dialogue to kind of help us figure out what to do. So you're going to do that throughout the rest of these, and you should have between 6 and 10 slides for your storyboard. I will explain more. Any questions if you haven't